Hello everybody, welcome to the third video. Today we want to speak about the y-intercept, and because it's the third video, of course you know this is the review of the first lesson from the Grade 10 Academic Math inside of the Ontario. This video we want to speak about what's a y-intercept, how we can find out an equation of a line with having the slope of a line and the points on it, or having 2 points on our line. Next we want to speak about some visual things about our lines and the slope. So let's get started. First of all, we need to know what a y-intercept is. Basically, the y-intercept, as you can see from the name of it, it's a point of intersection between our line and the y-axis. So if we remember, then we have an x-axis here and we have a y here too. So this is the point, and if we have this line here, the point that we have here is the y-intercept, because the point of intersection between our y-axis and the x. And as you can see, because it's about the y-axis, the x is going to be 0. The coordinate of this point here is going to be 0. And what is here y coordinate? So we can find it out from our equation, y equal to mx plus b. And as you see here, because the x is 0, the whole equation here is going to be a 0. So the coordinate of our y is going to be equal to b. So the point of intersection between our y-axis and our line, it's 0 and our initial value, or the y-intercept. In the next thing, we want to find out how we can find the equation of the line with having the slope of the line and 2 points. First of all, we have the slope, like for example the slope of a tree. So as you can see, m is equal to 3 because we have the slope that it's equal to 3. Somehow the question is going to give us the slope. And this next thing, we have a point on our line, for example point 2 and 1. And as you can see here, I have the slope, so y is equal to 3x plus our initial value. And we have a point here that we can plot it here. So we have this x here and the y here. I'm just going to plot them inside. So 1 is going to be equal to 3 times 2 plus b. Here, this 3 plus 2 is going to be equal to 6. And you can see 1 is equal to 6 plus b. I'm going to change the position in my 6 to the other side of the line. Come to here. So as you can see, as you remember in the past years, we speak about this number we have here is going to change to negative. So if, for example, we have 6 here, it's going to change to negative 6. If we have negative 2, when we move it to the other side of the equation, it's going to give us positive 2. And that's how it works. So, as I wrote it down, 1 minus 6 is equal to b. Yay! Negative 5 is equal to b. We solved the problem. So I'm just going to, so we have the b, I'm going to plot them inside again. Y is equal to 3x plus, actually it's not plus, it's minus. So we have negative x plus minus 5. I'm just going to write it down again. It wasn't so good. Minus 5. So as you can see. And the next thing we're going to speak about with having 2 points in our line. Let me just erase the whole page and speak about it. So having 2 points in our line, for example, we have the point 2 and point 3, and the point 3 and 4, for example. So as we learned before, there's a formula for finding out the slope of our line. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm just going to choose maybe this one the first, the second, and I'm going to write it down. It's going to be, so the 2 here, it's the first one, so I'm going to start with the second. The 3 here, it's going to minus my 2 here, and so this was the x, and for the y's we have the 3 here, we have the 4 here minus our 3. So 4 minus 3, or 4 minus 3, that is gonna give us 1 over 1 or equal to 1. So guess what, we have the slope of a line now. So we have y equal to x plus b. Again, we have two points here, and we can plot each of them inside of our equation. So I'm gonna plot this one, for example. So the x is gonna be 3 and the y is gonna be 4 plus b. As you can see, I'm going to change the position of the 3. So my b is going to be 1. So what did I find out? I found out what is my line equation. It's y equal to x plus 1. And this is how we find it. And now we're going to head to an app called GeoGebra that you can find it on the browser. That is going to help us to visualize what we've seen in our equation and lines. So here is the GeoGebra. First, for starter, I'm going to change the slope a little bit that you can see. So here is going to be the positive 1, and this is going to give us the negative slope. So let me just stop it here. So as you can see, when we are looking at our line from left to right, as you can see, from the negative side to the positive side. So when we look at our line from the negative side to our positive side, so from left to our right, we see that our line is going downward. So from the positive side is going to the negative side. So that means our slope is going to be negative. So when we're looking at our line, and as you can see here, the slope is negative. We write it down here. So again, for remembering, as we've seen here, when we're looking at our line from the left to our right, if our line is going to move downward, it means from our positive to our negative, it's going to be a negative slope. And in the other hand, as you can see here, if we still look at our line from our left to the right, we see that our line is going upward. It's going upward. So as you can see here, that means our slope is gonna be positive. So basically, if I ask you what's the important thing about the positive slope, you're gonna say when we're looking at a line from left side to the right side, we're gonna see an upward move. And when I ask you the negative one, you're gonna say we've seen a downward move. And that's basically the whole story about the negative and positive slopes. And that's it. And we have some kind of lines that don't have any slope, or they have odd slopes. For example, they have zero slope and undefined slope. So for example, I'm gonna write one of them down here that you can see it. We have, for example, x is equal to 3. And as you see here, this is moving from R3. I'm gonna zoom it in a little bit. You're gonna see the 3 here, the 3. So basically what that means, the slope of this line is undefined. So based on what we said about the slope of a line, so the slope of a line is basically what happened to our y when the x changed, and the x is not changing here at all. So the question is wrong. The slope is undefined. And we have the other line, as you can see it's y equal to 5. So as you can see here. And when you see it here, this is the purple one, I guess. So as you can see it here, that means the slope is 0. So basically what happened to the y's when the x changes? Nothing happened to the y's. The y is always going to be 5. So the slope is 0. And these are the exceptional lines that you need to know about them. And you're not gonna see them a lot. So basically just remember inside of your line. So one of them is horizontal and the other one is vertical. And let me just delete them both, the page is too crowded. I'm not going to delete the arrows that I put because I just want you to see them to understand it. So this is the slope, it's going to come and down. So I'm just going to pause it and make the slope of my line to 1. So this is the line, and as you can see, I can bring the initial value to the up and to the down. And if I write down another line like y is equal to x, like for example y is equal to x plus 6, that you have a line here that you can see it. And the difference between these two lines is these are parallel. It means they don't have any point of intersection. And sometimes, for example, if I'm gonna slope this and change the y-intercept of my line manually to 5 and change the y-intercept here to 5 too, you see these two lines are on each other. It means they're equivalent. They are always intersecting with each other in every single point that in our two lines. So that means the equivalence line. But if you don't understand it, it's okay. We're gonna come back to them in the lesson 2 or maybe in the last stage on the lesson from the lesson 1. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much.